Alright boys and girls, I just got home with this masterpiece, the Ducati Hypermotard 698 Mono in RVE livery. Of course I grabbed some video on my maiden voyage home, so instead of looking at your humble correspondent, we're going to discuss an overview of the bike and my initial thoughts during my maiden voyage home while looking at some video. Let's do work.
Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent.
Alright boys and girls, here it is, 2024 Ducati Hypermotard 698 RVE livery. The Mono, as they say. This is a gorgeous piece of artwork here. Look at that livery. So I've had all kinds of bikes, everything from Honda CBR 600 RRs. I had a 2010 Yamaha R1, 2007 Ducati Monster S4R, 2 Ducati Diavos. I had the Monster Plus. I have a ton of bikes to use as a reference point, and I gotta say, this is one of the funnest bikes I've ever ridden. Alright guys, you know the bike, we have all been waiting for it, but for the uninitiated, Ducati's brand new 659cc single-cylinder street slayer, the Hypermotard 698 Mono. Mine is in RVE livery, which comes with a quick shifter and a delicious street graffiti design for about $1,500 extra, and along with the Monster, this is an entry price point for Ducati. Yes, even at $12,995 for the base model, it is a bit on the expensive side, but then again, so is an entry-level Ferrari. We know it's a Ducati, and it's special. We're okay with the price of this groundbreaking bike. This is a brand new engine for Ducati. Ducati says its Super Quadro Mono with desmodromic timing is the most sophisticated and high-performance single-cylinder road engine ever built, able to achieve the highest engine speed in its category. The rev limiter is set to an astonishing 10,250 RPM, and no other single-cylinder engine can achieve this rotation speed. Power is the highest in its segment with 77.5 horsepower at 9,750 RPM and 46.5 pound-feet of torque at 8,000 RPM. So it's the best performing single-cylinder supermoto out there. The bike weighs in at 333 pounds dry, and my very first impression is this is the lightest bike I've ever been on. This thing is literally comfortable to push around. Walking this thing through a parking lot is like walking a dog, and I don't mean a big dog, I mean like a chihuahua. I have no fear of tipping it over by mistake, and even if I do, hey, it's not my $40,000 Street Fighter. Oil changes are every 9,000 miles, and the valve clearance check is every 18,000 miles. So this engine is really built with Ducati quality. You can get this in Ducati Red for $12,995 US, or RVE for $14,500. I do recommend either color. The RVE does come with a quick shifter, but you can add it to the base model for $350 plus labor, so probably around $500, unless you like to wrench on your own bike. But with the hooliganism I have planned for this bike, I would want to have Ducati install it professionally. Last thing I need is something going wrong when I'm on one wheel. I actually do like the red, but I do prefer the RVE design. Alright, so how does this insane bike feel? Firstly, as you'll see here in this video, I am 6'1" and about 210 pounds on a good day, and this bike is slender, light, but super tall. The seat height is 35.6 inches. I can just flat-foot it despite having abnormally long legs. My friend who is 5'11", which is above average here in the USA, said he didn't really like the feeling of it. So if you're running under 6 feet, you might want to get the lowered seat, which takes it down to 35 inches, or a little bit more than a half an inch lower. Or just get used to stopping on one foot, because that's what Supermoto is all about. I'll make a separate video on the size of the rider versus the size of this bike, so keep it locked in for that soon. I am riding in race mode here. This bike is more powerful and faster than I expected for a 659cc. I will say that up front. It's no slouch on power and torque, but it also helps that this bike is literally a featherweight. I'm also pleasantly surprised by the exhaust. At least in person, it doesn't sound wimpy or single cylindery at all. It sounds aggressive actually. Is it my 240 horsepower Street Fighter with an $8,000 exhaust? No. But for a single cylinder, this sounds pretty fierce. I will do a separate video on the stock exhaust with proper microphones, etc. But first I need to get you this taking delivery video as fast as possible. But yeah, this bike surprisingly will throw you back in your seat, even at my weight. Now, I did have to take it easy on these salty, sandy, and potholed New York roads. I did take a couple of corners with this bike at speed, but I was nervous because sand is literally everywhere. We are, after all, in midwinter here, but God willing, I'll find some nice roads tomorrow and give her a proper test. That said, with the corners I did take at a higher speed, this bike is planted. Of course it is. You can literally get an elbow down on this bike. It is a Ducati bred from the 1300cc Panigale. I expect nothing less from Ducati. This is a top performance bike. It looks like it feels like it. It more than lives up to my expectations of Ducati. The brakes are tight, suspension is good, hitting the brakes doesn't compress the forks into the street, even with my weight of over 200 pounds. I do want to call out the transmission, and literally this bike has like 6 miles on it, but it is the smoothest transmission I've felt on a bike. The quick shifter is also flawless. Ducati's really refined their quick shifter, and it shines on the Hyper 698. I noticed I could easily change from second gear right into neutral when coming up to a stop, which was helpful in changing all of these camera positions for you guys. In short, I had a great maiden voyage. This bike is fast, nimble, it's so lightweight I just can't wait to start being a hooligan on it. Alright boys and girls, I have to get this video out ASAP, so subscribe for a ton of videos coming up on this bike. I'm working on my comparison video between the 698 and the Hyper 950, which is an insane bike by the way, and I'll help you figure out which one of those you should buy. Alright, until then, always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary, and I will see you in the next one.
Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.